Hello, my sweet lady. You are the very first person on Instagram. Hi, everyone. Hello, Miss in the sanctuary. Hey, Mama. My mother is on. Hello, Mo. Come on, Mo. Don't ask me why. Hi, everyone. Hello, Miss Keisha's mommy. Come on in. Say hello. Let's see. Um, Hold on 1 second. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening on YouTube. Check your. Oh, never mind. Yeah, it's MO. If I put on the Wi-Fi, I think that would work. Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. Which Tuesday? Yeah. Hi everybody, come on in. Say hello when you come on. Hey mama, I just saw my mom. Let me say yes, I saw Saturday evening. Went to see family, mainly because of TJ. So that was just good time with family. YouTube and Instagram, let's go. Hi everyone, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the best half of the month of July, where we have uncommon, unmatched, overflowing God's favor waiting on us. Okay, let me see. Again, wear glasses so I can see. Okay, hi everyone, good evening, welcome in. Welcome, Jasmine Sanctuary would say the most positive space in platform of social space. I think something along those lines. Anyway, hi Miss Peggy, how are you? Same 01. How are you? Thank you for joining. I have an additional request which I need your help. A light on KZ, then you need to schedule a paid consultation. If you go on our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓.com, that's the fastest way for you to schedule a consultation. That's how I discuss cases. So that's what you would need to do. If you call my office, that's the same thing my assistant is going to call you. It's going to tell you. So if you think it is a pressing matter, then that's what you need to do. Hi, Anthony Sennett. How are you? Good evening. Hello, Miss Tina. Hello, Miss Arikoya. How are you? Hello, Miss Avina. What's going on? The more you know. I laugh because I literally had a consult with I'll just call her Miss Ada this evening before I left the office, and shared some information with her. And as soon as I was done, and she goes, the more you know. It was like, she goes, I've never really understood, I've never really appreciated those words until now, because there was some information that we shared with her that she did not know she could do with her regarding her case. And she was like, oh, okay. So I thought I could do that and all that. So you never know. But anyway, hi everyone. This is Attorney Abisola Adibola Olale, immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, it doesn't matter what state you're based in, we can represent you as long as you decide to work with us, and we look forward to working with you as well. Okay, housekeeping. If you need to contact us, the easiest way is to go on our website, 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓.com. There's not the information you're looking for is going to be on the website. Call our office 334-341-4475. Visit our website, like I said. Social media platforms at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓. This, and talking of contacting us, Mama Tyson, first of all, and people, and luckily for this most recent person who sent us all that screenshots and all that, it was a Saturday. I've said so many times, when in doubt, like he was, please just go on Google and just put Ian, my law firm's name. Google is not going to give you scam information. You're going to see our contact information there. So that's where, if you're in that, we've said it several times, we've got, if the phone number you're calling does not start with a 334, you're not calling my office. We will never ask you for your card information to set up a consultation. That's something you would have to do on your own, on your end. Anything as far as financial information, when you retain our services, is dealt direct. I deal directly with that. I don't delegate that because people's information is very sensitive, very important. But when it comes to consult, we don't have Zelle, we don't have Cash App, we don't have anything other than this link we're going to send you, which you can access that link from our website. So please, make sure that you are going through our website. We don't have, there's only so much I can do. And whenever they start an investigation into those scammers, they usually end up mean that you need to burn a phone and then move on to another thing. Unfortunately, that's what I have to deal with, which is really aggravating. But just so to protect yourself, try to make sure that I understand people. There's so many people scamming people when it comes to immigration matters because people are desperate and they know that. But do your own homework. I don't know. I mean, 𝒊𝒎𝒏𝒕 other than when I come here and all. And if you can't, I mean, these are people. This what really got me. And my mom, I was actually in Boston when my assistant forwarded that to me. My mom was not even finding it funny. But what really got me this time around is this most recent scammer actually had the audacity to do a live TikTok session for people under my law firm name. I was asking, like, okay, how do you even know? Because I've got a very unique voice and accent, right? But I was being told that AI can come up with all kind of stuff. How are you going to be bold enough to go on live and do that with people? So I just did not know that was possible. So please understand that you've got to do your homework and do not be scammed, okay? But anyway, follow us, like, share, subscribe at Olala Immigration. Let's talk immigration. And if you are joining us for the first time, welcome in. We do this every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Ms. Sabina is kind enough to put that on YouTube, and Ms. Ellen Sanctuary has done that on Instagram. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we talk all things immigration. We encourage one another. We have absolutely zero tolerance for negativity. You'll be blocked, kicked out, whatever it takes to make sure that this space is our own space as immigrants and just, rooting for one another. Let's talk immigration, people. What are we talking about tonight? Let's talk about I-751, joint petition or waiver. I-751 joint petition or waiver. That's what we're talking about tonight. So I-751, basically, you're going from a 2-year green card trying to get a 10-year green card. That's what that is in a nutshell. I have had quite a bit of uptake when it comes to I-751 cases. And usually, not necessarily my cases, but people reaching out to start or for us to respond to a notice of intent to deny or request for evidence. People just study themselves and they want a lawyer to take over. And where a lot of people are having issues is where USCIS comes back and says that the evidence that was submitted for a joint petition is not sufficient. And now you're trying to now convert to a waiver case, or you're trying to figure out, should you have filed a waiver case to start with? That's what we're going to handle tonight. So thank you, Ms. Ellen Sanctuary. I-751 joint petition or waiver. Which one should you file? This is a question you should ask yourself before you even start. That's usually, you've already given him USCIS information that you shouldn't have given them to start with. So, and talking about information, let me say this. A lot of people find it hard to accept the fact that USCIS, hey, Finance Shandy, For instance, we have your travel documents. I just spotted because I saw your name, but I haven't scanned and make sure everything. But I think I know we have it. We haven't scanned it into our system. Talking about information and giving USCIS information, and then now doing, having the buyer's remorse afterwards. When it comes to, let me just digress a little bit. When it comes to customary court decrees and all that, and people always think that you have to have a document. Even if your marriage was customary marriage, you have to have a document to show that the marriage is terminated. And so a lot of people end up in customary court and getting customary court decree. Yeah. So green white people at green labels that commercial green all over the place. Yeah, customary 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 going young balance in Nigeria. Yes, is used to that by now. But I bring that up to say this: you do not need to have any legal documentation from, Spanish Shandy, she's my travel by. The next one is green card. From our mouth to God's ears. You don't need any legal documentation as proof of termination of a customary marriage. And I say, because when I tell people all you need is an affidavit to be able to say when the marriage occurred, when it was terminated, who was present at the dissolution meeting, how much was the dowry that was returned, who was the dowry returned to. People think, yes, it's like, I mean, you guys might believe in. If you think I've been kidding all along, besides the fact that reciprocity schedule actually states that, I literally have a lady's case that was denied. Not my case. I mean, we have cases that get denied. That's just normal. Unless I don't do easy cases. That's just not me. I take on cases that I'm often so alone at the end of the day, but that's just how I am. But in this case, this lady came to me with a notice of intent to deny that no lawyer she's gone to wants to touch. And I was like, okay, this is the analysis of what needs to be done. And here's why we're not going to touch this, even in my firm. But one of the things that she had an issue with is she submitted a customary court document, right? That she's thinking, okay, it's not high court, it's customary court. But the thing about the customary court documents is this: even though there is no legal documentation required, USCIS already knows the kind of words, the terms used in customary court documents. So if those terms that you normally would use, like in a high court document, is found in that is a red flag. Specifically in this notice of intent to deny, USCIS themselves said they do not understand. I think I'm paraphrasing. It is unclear why the petitioner chose to submit any documentation at all for a customary marriage when just an affidavit stating when the dowry was returned would have sufficed exactly from USCIS. So not only did she not submit something that she thought was customary but it was, you could tell this is not something a customary court would have done. All she needed was an affidavit and not complicate things. So if you think affidavit is not sufficient, then please understand that this is live and directly from USCIS themselves, acknowledging the fact that something that states that a dowry was returned, that's it. Meaning affidavit and have it sworn and notarized. Do not complicate things. Talking of not complicating things, before you file a 751, make sure you know if you're filing a joint petition or a waiver. If you're going to file a joint petition, that means you have to file with your spouse, right? If you're not filing with your spouse, or you already know your spouse is not going to join in the filing of the petition, it does not make sense for you to now file, tell the spouse to sign. You're not living together. You don't have enough bona fide. You sent in evidence from the time before you got your 2-year green card as evidence for your 751. That's not going to work. The whole point of having a 751 or 2-year green card was intentional by Congress, because they wanted to make sure that if the marriage is less than 2 years, it is kind of like a red flag that the marriage may have been entered into for immigration purposes if the green card granted on the 2 year when the marriage is less than 2 years. In order to now revisit and review that case, they give you a 2-year green card. You come back and file after 2 years for your 10-year green card. Then they look into your case and expect you to have more evidence to show that your marriage was in good faith. If 2 years has passed, you don't have anything additional, that's usually a red flag, and that's usually a flag for a case to be interviewed. So if you already know from the beginning that your spouse is not going to join in a joint petition, or you're not living together, you don't have new evidence with the spouse, that is not a case where you now want to file jointly and expect to pray. No, you should pray, but expect that God is going to do miracles. He still does miracles, but let's call it spade a spade. There's some things, it's just common sense. I'm not trying to be, that's just way to put it. Do not submit a petition that you cannot have evidence to back it up, and expect to just think, USCIS is just going to ignore what is not added to it. So if your spouse is already abusive, your spouse has no interest, your spouse has threatened that they're going to cancel your green card, they're going to report you, or you're going through, you're separated already, you're going through divorce, please understand that your best option in that situation is a waiver 751, meaning you're filing the self-petition and asking of the waiver of the joint filing requirement based on the fact that you've been a victim of abuse, based on the fact that you've gone through a divorce or going through a divorce, or based on the fact that you will suffer extreme hardship if you're not allowed to stay back in the country and made to return to your home country. Keep in mind that joint filing requires you to prove good faith. So when you file a joint I-751 petition, it's just the same thing as filing your green card from scratch, because you're going to have to prove once again, that was the intent of Congress. Once again, you're proving that the marriage was entered into not for the green card, but in good faith for you guys, because you had a plan at the inception of the marriage to live together. 2 years, between the 2 years, you get your 2-year green card and the 10-year green card, USCIS is going to expect to have additional evidence from you. If you do not, that's going to be a problem. That means you haven't lived together, your marriage is not necessarily growing, and then it's time for you to consider, should I file a waiver? If you are going to file a waiver, the next question to ask yourself is, what type of waiver should I file? Is it based on abuse? Have I been subjected to maltreatment from my spouse? If not, are we going to file a divorce anytime soon? If that's the case, if none of those two cases apply to you, the default is always the extreme hardship ground. Extreme hardship ground, it's the toughest ground to win, but call me crazy, I love the extreme hardship waiver because that's just how my brain works. I love putting things together where it just does not seem like it's going to make sense. But then you gotta remember, it's like he created me in such a way where it's like she's crazy as hell. So let me just step in and help her because, but in all seriousness, extreme hardship waiver at 751 does not require you, and listen carefully, does not require you to prove good faith marriage. Extreme hardship waiver ground for 751 has no requirement for you to prove that your marriage was in good faith. So say, for instance, you got your 2-year green card. Shortly after that, you have not been subjected to abuse, but you guys are now separated. You've not gone through a divorce, but so it's just there. In addition to that, you really do not have any good faith evidence to show or to support your case, meaning no new disagreement showing that you've moved to a new place, you don't have a kid together, you haven't taken vacations. The last thing you had as far as good faith evidence was what you provided to USCIS before you got a 2-year green card. You got nothing after that. Your best bet is probably going to be an extreme hardship waiver, because there is absolutely no requirement for you to prove that you entered into a marriage that you got your green card through in good faith. It has nothing to do with your spouse. Abuse waiver still has to do with the spouse because you got to prove good faith. Divorce waiver has to do with the spouse because you still got to prove good faith. Extreme hardship, on the other hand, is the toughest waiver ground to prove, but it does. And the reason why is that you're not required to prove that your marriage was in good faith. It's basically about you showing by a number of factors specific to your case that if you're not allowed to stay back in the country, you are going to be subjected to extreme hardship in your home country. And here's why. Start with psychological evaluation. report on your country conditions, family members affidavits to attest to what you had been through or what you would go through, financial crisis, financial hardship that you're going to be subjected to, people you take care of back home. Those are factors that USCIS is going to consider, medical reasons, in order to be able for you to be able to succeed in filing an extreme hardship waiver 751. So this is not something you try to figure out. And if you're in the middle of that, you think you've got to convert, that's fine. But a lot of us already know before we file a petition how the state of the marriage is. People just don't change overnight, and people do, but I mean, you're going to see signs. So if you already know 2 years has passed by, you already know that person is not going to help you. Why wait? Why risk putting, your destiny in somebody else's hands? For lack of a better phrase. And if you're filing a waiver 751, you do not have to wait 2 years before you do that. You can actually literally get your green card today, filing the self-petition tomorrow. That's the requirements. You're not required to wait for 2 years. You can file it within the first 2 years or after the 2 years. Doesn't really matter. The only requirement to wait for 2 years is when you are filing jointly with your spouse. If you've got evidence that you have built within the 2 years of getting your 2-year green card, everything is good with the spouse, you're able to prove additional good faith evidence, then by all means, go ahead and submit a joint petition with your spouse. In that case, however, you cannot file earlier than 90 days before the 2nd year anniversary. So, question on, should I file a joint petition or waiver 751? That's a question you ask yourself before you file, not in the middle of it. If you find yourself where you file with your spouse agreed, things change, then it's time to sit down with a lawyer, figure out what option or waiver you're going to be eligible for, and not wait until USCIS now says, okay, I really moving. So, be proactive. And that's all sure, people. That's it. I'm sure you're like, Auntie, and Joe, bouncing off the wall. Sherry Mutilosi, bossy Mutilo Jamala. So that's what happens. My mom fed me. My sister-in-law, Lamide, I don't know, she's hardly on social media. She's got her hands, but she got three kids. How old is Eliana? Lord Jesus. 3 kids, 6 and under. Then that's going to be 7. Yeah. 6 and under. Yeah. She's got her hands full. But that lady, there's no time I go to Massachusetts that I don't eat. That auntie feeds me. So yeah. So I'm still bouncing off of fresh catfish and amalast, and they were doing. I don't know. There's just no food in Nigerian food. It's just literally a lot I can talk. Listen, my siblings do not talk as first of all, my brothers don't talk like and then my younger sister, Sisi Yellow, and Simisola, and 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. She's like, whatever. She doesn't like stress. That is, my sister is the definition. If soft life was a person, like my soft life era was a person, my sister, she's the yellow version of me. My sister's picture will be there. Continue in stress. I mean, none, you let your family. I mean, none. So that's all. But anyway, let's go to questions. Let's do questions, people. Let's do it. Okay. Miss Tina, I'm telling you, you have no idea how happy I am for you and the kids. And thank you for sharing with me and just giving us a small part in that immigration journey. I can't even imagine when you had all 3 green cards in your hands, how that feeling must have been. So we thank God, we give him all the glory, because but for his grace and his favor, nothing can be done, but we thank him. All glory and adoration really goes back to our maker. So thank you for making us part of your journey. Hello, Miss Giwa. How are you? Hey, Miss Murther. How are you? Did you figure out that question from last week? Yeah, I hope you did. Hello, Davies. I'm doing well. How about yourself? Okay, let's go to, please, disclaimer. Answers to your questions are just general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. Please do not repeat questions. I will skip it. So if I'm not reading out your questions because I see that you have written more than one, so let's help ourselves. My marriage-based green card pending almost up to 2 years. What's next? No RFE. If it's still within the number processing time, then it is. Uh, uh, um, Disclaimer: nothing specific to anyone's case. General information. You can do, ombudsman inquiry, congressional assistance requests. Call USCIS to find out the status of your case. If all else fails, you can sue them. So, but before you get to a lawsuit, you have to have taken all the steps already. Okay. Golden Glamour, thank you for sharing. I was text you a lot of time, but you didn't answer. I'm sorry to say that. There's nothing to be sorry about. First of all, we don't respond to text on TikTok if that's because I think y'all. I think I'm guilty of that. But can I please ask that when we have instructions on our page that y'all just read the instructions before you make a big deal out of it? It's on our TikTok that we don't respond to text on TikTok, that you have to contact us on Instagram. And we've got quite a number of people who contact, and then I have Lydia, my assistant, my social media assistant, who does the responses and all that. If they're not getting the response they want, then they say, well, you're not going to get free consultation outside of this forum. That's not going to happen. So a lot of people want to do that. And so I just have a quick question. Okay, I have a quick payment link too. It's very, very quick. Yeah. So if you're sending us, Saki, if you're sending us text message on TikTok, no one's going to respond to you because it says the way you send a text. So before you please know, we don't respond to text on TikTok. You got to go on Instagram or text us directly on WhatsApp. I don't know what else we can say about that because it's very obvious. But anyway, let's see. When can you lawsuit immigration? When can you file a lawsuit against immigration? When you have gone through, depending on the kind of case, number one, and then when you've gone through all what I just listed earlier on. Okay. I applied for my husband I-130. Okay, hold on. All right. I applied for my husband's I-130 petition, but now I quitted my job because I'm pregnant. Does it affect his case? You're not working does not affect an I-130. You're not working would have an effect on the I-45 if it's here to adjust, or on the immigrant visa if it's going to apply, in the sense of you're probably going to need a joint sponsor depending on what stage you're in and if your income is not sufficient for an I-864. I'm qualified into your documentary qualified. Wife had a green card. Now she's a U.S. citizen. Will that help speed up the case? It should, because before she became a citizen, you are a preference category relative. Now that she's a citizen, you are an immediate relative, and visa numbers you don't have to wait for visa numbers as an immediate relative. So that you're not waiting for them to have an interview, a visa number available to your interview dates. You get your interviews rather quickly, but it does not mean that you still would not experience backlog, because that's just generally what's going on at the embassy. Mackie said disclaimer, general information only. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, hold on, people. Where is my? Hold on. I'm about to lose power on my computer. Trying to make sure I do not. I get it. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let's see. Patsy Palmer, thank you. M.S. Clayton, hey, Miss Olay. All right, I'm not Mrs. Olay, though. Don't put me back in married seat. Moko. That's, I still go by the married name, but it's not Mrs. So, how can I help you? Okay, let's see. How long will it take for me to get my E80 card if my spouse is a green card holder? The first question is, do you qualify to even file the green card application? If your spouse, if you're in the country and you're, well, I assume you're in the country talking of E80 card, then the first question is, are you in valid status? Dre, if you're not in valid status, then you're not going to even be eligible for a green card application, let alone the E80 that comes with it. If you are in valid status, then if you go to USCIS.gov/processing time, it has a processing time for each application on it. My sister received a prima facie determination. What is that supposed to mean? Basically, in a nutshell, that is USCIS office acknowledging the fact that they have done an initial review of your VAP case, and based on face value, which is what prima facie means, it is approvable. But here is the prima facie. Go ahead and you can use this to apply for government benefits, student loan, housing vouchers, food stamps, if you do need them, until we make a decision on your case. That's basically what that allows you to do. What's your Instagram handle? At Olalea Immigration. It's the same on all platforms. At Olalea Immigration. Cannot petition for an in-law to come to the United States if I'm a citizen? No, you cannot. Thank you, Miss Mackie. Okay. What are the popular marriage-based interview questions? The best thing you can do for yourself is to sit down with a lawyer, especially if this is not your first time. If this is your first time, you have to prep with your lawyer. If you go on our website or on our website, we have I want to believe on the resources page there is a link to 100 questions, sample questions. Those are questions I have compiled over the years. I got this question book whenever I go for interviews. I just write them down. So those are questions I compiled over the years. Some of them may be repetitive, but yeah, that's for anyone to download. I'm not saying those are questions you're going to be asked, but it's very helpful. Can I divorce in Canada? I can't answer any question about outside of the United States. All right. Yeah, please share YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. And Josh Shackle, I'm Ben. I love this. I have to put this on. Miss Tina says, "You're welcome. Thank you too for standing by us throughout the trying period." Well, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's not too mushy, but it's been quite a journey. But we thank God that he's taking all the glory at the end of the day. I emailed her and she hasn't responded yet. She's supposed to call last Friday. Okay, just let me know. Keep me posted. Send me an email. Ajibola, hello, good evening. What's going on? My asylum is pending. Please, my 12-year-old son is in Canada. how can I bring him to the U.S. and I'm in U.S. presently. My asylum is pending. Mr. Falari, you pending asylum doesn't allow you to bring anyone in until you become an asylee. Um, if you've got any other questions, you're best sitting down with a lawyer to figure out what your options are. But I would tell you that pending asylum does not give you any basis to bring anyone in or file anything for anyone. Okay. Ini Instagram ya, Joe. Okay, there we go. Someone said, "Was that your sister for real? How come?" Chimofelo G sister. My mom is on. You can ask her. She gave it to both of us. Okay, I mean, go on. But no, seriously, my mom actually, my mom is 71. She's in her 70s, and you can tell, she's darker now. But my mom actually used to be as light skinned as my sister, believe it or not. And this is me, black and beautiful, coming from yellow. Because what? My dad was really black. Like my dad was. See how black this is? He's my father. He's past. He's my own. But my dad was really dark, black skin. So, but seriously, that's my sister. She's just very, very yellow. Like my mom used to be that yellow, really. That was like mom's complexion back, my sister's 40. Yeah, I remember when mom Jennifer, she looks just like my mother looked when my mom was 40. And I just didn't catch any of the yellow. And I won't change it for anything. It is what it is. What's a good time for me to call tomorrow? We open up between our office is open 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Break between 12 and 1, so between 9 and 4. But you would be calling my assistant, and she would tell you to set up a consultation. So I will spare you that whole thing, and so just go ahead and schedule a consultation with the website, from the website, because that's the same information you're going to be given. Okay. Yes, Ms. Thank you. You're a very first person on Instagram. This smiles so priceless. It is very. I like to, if it's very urgent, that's what you need to do. Or if I don't have, because I don't know what my schedule is, they just tell me where I have to show up, and I show up. But if you don't see anything close by, and you need someone for us to make a referral, we can always do that for you. Do you process Ukrainian adjustment of status for Ukrainian residents already in the U.S.? I do not. I will be honest with you. And I'm thinking you're talking about the particular program for Ukraine citizens. That's what I was. This is safe space. Thank you. Once again, we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. So it doesn't matter what state you live in. Okay, I've answered that question. Yes, I mean, do your homework. And I think for me, because I think it was 2 weeks ago, I talked about someone who had a consultation with me. And then after the consultation, they contacted their bank and said that it was a fraudulent transaction. And there's a chargeback I had to deal with. And what really, really, really ticked me off was, here I am trying to still deal with, in all seriousness, and really I try to just put it in the back burner because it's aggravating and it wears me out, especially when there's nothing I can do besides just informing people. So when you have so you're dealing with someone or whoever these people are already impersonating you and using your firm's name to get money from people, and unfortunately, people have become victims of this scams. Then you actually have someone who sat with you, paid you with their own hands, entered their information, their everything, got confirmation on their end, and then turn around to tell their bank it was a fraudulent transaction when I'm already dealing with this, and now you're trying to link me with those who are actually using my name. That's not something I'm going to take. And she reached out and she went up because I filed a complaint, and she reached out like she didn't know. No, you knew. Not only did you do it intentionally, when I responded to it, the bank approached her to say, hey, this is a response from the person. She still denied that she didn't have anything to do with my firm. How do you think that's going to make me feel when I have to still deal with someone or people already doing that, and now you want to do it to the real person? Come on now. So that's why this is even much more aggravating, because it's like, okay, you already have someone trying to use your name, and then someone who actually meets with you now turns around and claims that they never met with you when you have it in black and white. That's why this just really gets, and that's what I'm saying. Just do your homework. But just do your homework first. Can a 51-year-old man wed a 34-year-old? Oh, I mean, there's nothing. There's no law against that. There's no law against that. Yeah, so the person that, and I think that's one of the person who was chatting with Lydia actually said that the funny because he was like, he actually believed that was us because the person was doing a live TikTok video. Mm. Okay. Yes, so funny, Shandy. Ele mais um etiqueto. But yeah, I feel new green card, inshallah. I'm telling you, God willing, so shall it be. Soon, very, very soon. You claim it, and I agree with you in faith, Miss Peggy. So shall it be. Remember, Miss Pinky. I mean, we're ready for a fight, but out of nowhere, God says this is the end of the story, and it ended in praise. So you just never know. We just have to keep believing. That's all we can do. Yeah. Nigerian food or nothing. Miss Abena, sit this one out. Miss Abena, in my defense, Ernest actually said it, not me. She's right, but she looks so cool and pretty. She's gorgeous. My sister is, I mean, my parents make some good looking girls. Dare I say that myself? But she is Simisala. She is very, very laid back. Doesn't I wish sometimes she does not stress herself for anything in the world. There's nothing you want to do. She's just going to walk away. I wish I was that way. Maybe not really, because well, maybe some part of that. Because I filed for vow, but I'm still not divorced, but we're separated. When is the best time for divorce to have my EAD? That's not a question I can answer because I don't represent you. If you have a lawyer, ask your lawyer because your lawyer will know your specific case. But generally, I just tell you, generally, there is nothing that says you have to remain married while your fact is spending. But when you should or should not ask, that's a question you direct to your lawyer. This is like today. I have my uncle, niece, and my cousin's friends. Okay, so then I'm going to just move past you because God knows where you live. How long would it take for me to get my EAD card of my if my spouse, that's the same person? Okay, let's see. Will living in separate states due to work affect naturalization application? As long as you're able to prove that it did not um, disrupt marital union, you should be fine. General information, I don't know anything about your specific case, but generally, as long as you're able to prove that one person is working out of state because of work, and you're commuting back and forth, the marital union doesn't have to specifically be that you guys are stationary and you can't move staple unit. You have to just show that there's a union ongoing wherever it is, and you have evidence to support that. Hope that helps. If I-140 is approved for EB1, can I change status from pending asylum? Will my I-45 be approved? There's a lot of factors that go into that. When you file for asylum, what did you come in with? Were you out of status for filing for asylum? What part of the country you live? It's not a yes or no answer to that kind of question. That's a question that requires a legal analysis of your specific case. How can a person find out if his wife divorced him? Go to the courthouse in the county that you live in your state. They should be able to provide information for you as far as how to search domestic relations records in your county. My spouse was arrested recently and the green card interview is coming up. He has been given 5 to 10 years. What can be done in this case? Sit down with a lawyer to find out your options is what you need to do. What's the duration of work authorization renewal? Now, I don't know how long. I can't tell how long it's taken. USCIS.gov/processing times will give you that information, unless you're asking how long it's valid for. Thank you, Ms. Geraldine. Can I file for green card if my asylum is still pending? On what basis? Marriage, or what is going to be the basis of your green card? I'm yellow. Well, my sisters are black and short. Miss Peggy, did you just call me short? Like, hey, stop. See, black. You're not added short to it. I know. I'm over 5'1". 1 inch younger. That's why God gave me a very strong voice. But you just called me short. Thank you. Hello, my number, Lee. I don't know if you speak Yoruba, but Deja Vu 6331. If I knew you had your question repeated like 3-4 times, I would have skipped it altogether. At least the boys are fair complexion. My boys are more of their dad because their dad is not booming. Shit in my mouth, man. I call my ex-husband Salamo. I used to call him. Y'all don't come for me. It's just all play. I'm just telling you what because he's like, there's not much. You know what Salamo? It's not a bad thing. It's just you're not very yellow. You're not very dark. So I call my kid Salamo too. I mean, what can I say? I have a consultation with you. The Moj, we've already had one, or we're going to have one. Off immigration questions. Okay, this is an immigration platform, but if I studied law in Nigeria, do I have to start over to practice law in America? It depends on what state you settle in. There are some states that you may be able to get your degrees and the law school diploma evaluated, and that might suffice for them to evaluate in that state and decide if they'll let you sit for the bar. Yep. 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 That's what I had to deal with. Yeah, that's what I had to deal with. And then she came back and she's like, "Oh, she didn't know it was my firm." You know, people make mistakes. Don't get me wrong, but when the bank and that's one of the things they're required to do. They send the reason why they because I didn't get that money back. It's not about the consultation fee. It's not that because there's people who owe me gotten something and I was just writing in representation. Even though my contract says I have a right to sue you, I just let it. But when you try to tarnish my image and I work extremely hard. And then you do that, and I'm still dealing with people who are doing the same thing. That's where I draw the line. And then you come back and say you didn't know, but your bank has the response saying they actually gave you the response that I sent with all the emails, all your the payment everything, and she still told the bank she doesn't recognize this in this law firm. She never had any dealing with that law firm. Like what? Thought I was getting pranked. And then I filed a complaint, and then that's when you remember. Come on now. Well, you've already done the damage. Yeah. So that's why this whole thing of someone using my law firm now and actually really scamming people just really rubs me wrong. And then I've got to deal with this with someone who actually will do that. Yeah. Cannot file for my brother over 30-year-old. If you're a citizen, you can file for your brother, whether marriage or not married, 2 years old, 10 years old. It doesn't matter. The question is how soon can your brother get their green card, and it's taken for siblings. If you are, because you didn't say whether you're a citizen or not, I'm assuming you're a citizen, because only citizens can file for siblings. It's taking no less than 15 years at the very minimum. Can F1 that is out of status file for asylum? It depends on how long you've been out of status for. If it's still within a reasonable time, then generally that would mean that you may fall within the exemption of changes in personal circumstances that allows you to file beyond the 1 year statutory period. Yes, Mama. Mama said lots between person and scamming people. Unfortunately, it is. Amen. Thank you, Mr. Pell. We're going to Bahamas. Look for us in every light that will tell you. These ladies are crazy, I'm telling you. Oh my God. Oh, one of us being alive, no matter what. Thank you. Do you recommend EB3 consular processing for someone with unauthorized unemployment? Actually, you will need to consular process unless you're going to not be truthful in your green card application. But if you've worked without authorization and you've worked without authorization for more than 180 days, when it comes to employment routes, you're not going to be eligible to apply for the green card in the country. Is there a way to get forgiveness from working without authorization apart from being married to a U.S. citizen? Does this affect getting an advance parole? Sit down with a lawyer and talk about it. This is not a yes or no question. Oh wow. Beautiful thing, finally, I said beautiful. See, this is no coincidence. There's no coincidence with God. Beautiful thing. Last Tuesday, same day, she went to the passport. She went for her passport biometrics. Got her passport the same day. Got a message that it was produced after she left the same day. Her advance parole was approved. When God decides to arrange things for you, that's what I called. God does not delay. God does not deny. He just sets that blessing for an appointed time so that all things will work together and there will be no confusion, and it's just the hand of God that has done it. So, yes. Wow. Thank you. Yep. Unfortunately, that's what I had to deal with. I need a green card to your heart, baby. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕 Balogun. Oh Lord Jesus. I'm sure you don't want to die young now, because I'm a lot. Trust me, you don't need green card to ask my mother about me. She will tell you to run. Salo, omoye. My mother will tell you to run. She will love you enough to say, you know. My mother will tell you like, no, omoye. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Let's see. Okay. Hello, Mr. Taryn. How are you? Oh my goodness. You gotta be kidding me. Gotta put this on. Y'all have no idea how this makes me. Oh my God. Mr. Taryn, are you still on? He's watching from, I can't pronounce what that city is in China, sitting with his dad for breakfast. Oh my Lord. This time last year, Mr. Taryn, can you remember July last year? About this time is when we got the crazy notification that they had denied the green card application because they said we didn't respond to an RFP that we never got. Fast forward a year, this is you with your green card, 10-year green card, and being able to see your dad after so long. This is what it is all about. This right here is what it's all about. I'm telling you, this is what it's all about. So, and just so you know how much of this what because sometimes I'm so tired, truth be told, and sometimes I'm just tired. And when I get out, I'm going to see if I can get an email that I got today from, I didn't represent her, but she consulted with me, and based on everything that I what she learned from me and all that, I just say Miss Sarah. She just learned that her green card is approved, but this we first consulted last October. So when I got an email, and just to read a little bit, she says, and I just want to say thank you. This was back in May. Just want to say thank you for all you do. I know I'm not your client, but I consulted with you, and you were such a big help. I've been a silent follower of yours on Instagram, and you have taught me so much. Wanted to share, and that you went on to share a lot of what happened, and I told her to, because she has an attorney that's like, hey, don't tell your attorney, and another attorney said, just tell the attorney that this is what you research yourself, and suggest to them, because attorneys, we got egos, that this is what the thinking. And she did as I told, and that went the way it went, got the first step. And then she came back today. So this was back in, we met in October, sent me that email in May, came back today and go, my sister lawyer. Once again, although you're not my attorney, but somehow I feel but I somehow feel like you are in my mind. Your videos, your updates, your advice played a big role in my journey, and that made you a part of my immigration journey. And she said what she wanted to say. She goes, I'm so grateful, man. I cannot but share this news with you. This is why I do what I do, because I know that you just never know who's going to benefit. You never know who's going to be listening. And I think Mr. Taryn found me online, because you just never know. It's just about for all of us to win. If we all win, if somebody wins, we're all winning. And when you rejoice, I'm a big believer in, if you rejoice with other people, God will bring your own season of rejoicing. That's going to be your chance. And so, Mr. Taryn, I'm so happy that you're that my regards to him. I wanted to know if it's possible for someone who came in legally and will later has asylum to get working paper, later married. Can the asylum status change later to non-asylum status? You don't have asylum status at all. If you have a pending asylum case, that's what it is. It's pending. If you get married and you get a green card through marriage, then what you need to do is now send a copy of your green card with a copy of your receipt notice for the asylum to your asylum office, letting them know you want to withdraw your case because you now have a green card. Asylum pending is not a status. It just authorizes you to stay. Okay. Can my employer start my perm process while my VAT is in process? Nothing says they cannot. So yeah, 17. Okay, y'all. I think we are. Okay, wait, hold on 1 second. That's this crazy thing I have to do on to 10. Okay, so can someone call USCIS about your Miss Sophia? I think you asked this question the last time, and I said yes. If I remember clearly, actually letting you know that USCIS, I think it was last week, just clarified that VAW petitioners can now call the contact center. They will just have to verify identity questions with you, ask you questions to verify your identity before you can share anything with you. So I already said that. Filing affidavit of support, I have 1099 W-2 made enough, but filed loss in 1099. Can I still support the immigrant? That's not a question I can answer. Sit down with a lawyer or do your calculation with a lawyer that can help you. All this good news is so encouraging. I just love this platform. Thank you, Ms. Dana. Yours is coming to God willing, so shall it be. Can't wait for my Miss Ellis. Actually, the day I get the notification, y'all going to think I'm crazy because this lady, my girls, my 3 girls, but I think based on, I want to be, I think hers is, well, it's going to be probably between her and Finance Shandy. But the day I get any of my girls' green card, I'm at that party you. Like everybody else is important, but those 3 ladies, I'm at shit. What the hell? I'm at that party Lenny. I'm can I tell him, you know? What's his name in Maryland? Femi Speechless. It will come. Patini, what's going on? You girl don't even know. Don't even know. Okay. All right, people. I think we are. Listen, don't just ignore me, people. I think we are. Yeah, we'll do the rest of the questions on Thursday. Soon. God is in control. He is in control. And you know, one of the things that I was doing my devotion this morning, and I needed that because you know something happened. You know, someone sent me an email that yet last night I was like, it wasn't. But then I woke up and part of my devotion this was like, even in the midst of an adversity, even in the midst of unclear situation where you don't have clarity, where it seems very gloomy situations, God does not change. There's going to be a blessing even in the midst of that. In the midst of the storm, there's something that's going to make that storm calm the storm. And your blessings will shine through. So I hold on to that, and I share that with you, saying that whatever the adversity, whatever it is that you find yourselves in situations that look so gloomy, like everyone around you is rejoicing, that's okay. It's their time to rejoice. Remember I said God does not deny, he doesn't delay. He sets your blessing for the appointed time. If you don't have the blessing, then it's not the appointed time he has set. I preach that to myself as well, that even things that, you know, there's some cases that I wish, you know, you're hoping and rooting for an approval. And as many approvals that I get, it always reminds me of the story in the Bible of the, you know, of the 100 sheep and the 99 sheep, and the one that went astray is the one that Jesus follows. I'm not saying I'm Jesus, please don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, in spite of all the abundant approvals and all that, just one case that gets denied is a big deal for me, because it has nothing to do with whether I did what I was supposed to know. It's about the fact that I can only imagine what my client feels if I feel this way. But in those moments is when I had to remind myself that even in the midst of the storm and adversity, it doesn't matter, and it's okay to be that passionate about what I do, and take a moment, not for just my client, but for myself, to say, you know what, okay, what is the next step? And to also take, you know, acknowledge the feeling that in spite of all the blessings, that person's case is 100% for them, right? But even with that, that is not the end of their story. because that is not how it's going to end. It's going to end with everyone having their own blessing, but it has to be at the appointed time. So the prayer for all of us is God will give us the grace and the strength, to continue to wait on Him so that we will not miss our blessings at the appointed time. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good evening. Bye, everybody.